Agenda for today is the following. First, my colleague Zane Kotāne, CFO of Olainfarm Group, will discuss the financial performance of the first 6 months of 2020. Then we will continue with the outlook for 2020, followed by the 5-year strategy, and then the latest developments as item number 4, and then we take questions afterwards. So who do you have on the call today? Is our Group CFO Zane Kotāne on the right, and you hear my voice, Mr. Jeroen Weites, Chairman of the Board and CEO of Olainfarm Group. Zane, please.
Yes, dear investors of Olainfarm, it's my great honor to be today on this webinar and to present financial results for the first half year 2020. I have been in various management board positions for several Latvian listed and public companies for the last 9 years. And this is the first webinar which I'm hosting in the capacity of Management Board of Olainfarm. Let me start the presentation with global trends which impact every business today in the economy. And also the stock exchanges are asking companies to report on COVID impact, how this impacts companies. And we have structured the impacts to Olainfarm Group in 3 groups. One is operational impacts, the next is market and clients impact, and the third is a bit more mid-term impact on strategic perspective. Let me start with operational ones. So first I would like to say that the group has ensured all safety requirements which were introduced already during the first quarter, and it did continue also in the second quarter of 2020. With that, we have managed to ensure safe production, and we have managed to meet all the client needs which were coming for the medical goods during this reporting period. What we have seen during this period that Olainfarm is a very advantaged position compared to other companies, and due to our vertical integration. So we have been able to ensure production due to the fact that we are vertically integrated and we are producing both chemical components and final dosage forms, implying that we didn't experience any supply chain issues as other companies might in this time. Then regarding the markets, we have several impacts. Let me start with the marketing impact. As you know, several countries have been closed partially due to COVID situations, and that mostly related to medical industry and doctor visits, and that also impacted the group's operations. We were not able to carry out all necessary activities in marketing field, which we were intending for this period. And that was, of course, due to the fact that some of face-to-face meetings were not allowed and were closed during this COVID impact. What we also experienced is a decline in purchasing power, and that is in several segments. That of course impacted affordability to buy medical products, and out of these all kind of segments which Olainfarm operates, the highest impact was for compression products, and that is due to the fact that many compression products are designed to be used after medical manipulations like surgeries, and those just didn't happen during the COVID impact time. Then we look a bit strategically. Then what we have done is, due to guidance issued by the European Medical Association, some of clinical trials have been delayed and deferred to 2021, although initially were planned in 2020. So that's a bit from strategical perspective. Then also reporting on positive impacts, the group companies have received financial aid amounting to almost 300,000 euros in relation to COVID-related programs issued by Latvian government. Let me continue with the key parameters of Olainfarm Group. And we measure 3 parameters. One is sales, and the next is EBITDA, and the third is net profit. So if we look for the sales for the first half of 2020, then sales are at 66 million, flat compared to 2019. EBITDA has improved, improving also profitability of the group, and it has improved by 19%. Net profit, however, is down by 18%, and it is mostly due to currency fluctuations. In the next slides, I will explain a bit more what business impacts do we have during this first half year 2020. There are 3 main things which are impacting financial results and operations of the group in the first half year 2020. And the first, which we have already reported before, is establishment of subsidiary in Russia. and generally reviewing the way how group conducts marketing activities and promotions in various markets. And there are a couple of pictures illustrating what has been actually achieved in Russia, and we are very proud of that. Russian team is fully running and operational since August 2020, and in addition, during this time, there have been a lot of efforts done in developing digital channels. Just a couple of examples on a slide, which are Doc Academy, meant for young healthcare professionals, and a lot of live communication options where key opinion leaders can actually discuss topics which are relevant for therapeutical areas which Olainfarm operates. Then the second factor which I would like to stress is so-called serialization or traceability of medical products introduced in Russia. The decree is finally introduced in July 2020 with full force from October 2020. But of course, the sales have been impacted by this regulation. This is due to the reason that Olainfarm records its sales as a primary sales when the goods are shipped for distributors and not necessarily consumed in particular countries. So what we saw is demand from distributors increasing with expected acceptance of this new regulation, so it has impacted both results for 2019 and then demand in the first quarter of 2020, and now again at the end of June there is additional demand which has impacted financial results of the first half a year. And then the negative factor which we experienced is that currencies of developing countries has lost their value against euro. And in first 6 months for us, it meant that the value of Russian ruble has dropped by 15%, as you see also on slide, and that has caused financial losses from Olainfarm Group. Let's continue with next slide. This is the factors which have impacted in particular in numbers net profit. So there are 3 main factors. First is selling expenses. As already explained, selling expenses have been down compared to prior year due to the fact that some of the marketing activities were not able to deliver due to COVID situation and changing marketing models. Then from admin expenses, we are higher by 1.6 million compared to prior year, and that relates to changes in accounting for the personal costs, meaning in a way how accruals are done for the group. In 2020, we have both recognized costs which relate to 2019 and also accruals for current half a year for 2020. And then regarding financial income, as part of business is done in rubles, there are different impacts depending on how the ruble exchange course is fluctuating. In prior year, in 2019, the group had profit of 1.5 million. This year we have loss of 3 million, and net impact then 1 year versus the other is 4.5 million. And that is the biggest negative impact for the group operations for the first half a year 2020. If we move next to the sales, then what we have seen sales numbers is that last quarter of 2019 was impacted by this traceability regulation, leading to higher sales in 2019 fourth quarter. That in line was decreasing demand in the first quarter, and then again new traceability regulation came in second quarter of 2020, increasing sales again by 8 million as one-off item due to this introduction of new regulation. Then overall picture, we stand solid and stable. Year over year sales are at the same level as in 2019, and trailing 12-month sales, which are calculated from 1st July 2019 until 30th of June 2020, totals to 137 million, which is 6.5% increase compared to the same period before. Next slide, we move to business segments. As we have reported, the group has 4 main business segments, of which the largest segment, representing 64% of total revenues, is medical production segment, followed by retail segment. Both segments are shown in more details, and what you can see that profitability in one segment versus other differs a lot, both although having positive trends. Medical production segment profitability is 28%, while retail segment profitability amounts to 5%, but also 1% increase compared to 2019. Then on the side of the slide, there's sales growth by segments. And here you can see what we illustrated already before, and that compression materials are down due to several impacts related to COVID operation. Let's move to the next slide, and this is regarding the markets and products. What we have seen that due to increased sales on traceability regulation, Russia has become a leading country for the group in 2020, amounting 30% of total sales. Although in total, I would say the three core markets remain the same: Russia, Latvia, and Belarus, in total consisting 73% of sales delivered by the group. From products, also the same 6 main products remain as a key drivers of revenues of the group. In a leading position, Norfen, what we have seen that this half a year, medicine for health of nervous system has reached 53% of total product sales, which is 3% higher than year-over-year of that category of medicaments, and that growth is mostly driven by Adaptol increasing its market share in several countries. Then on financial stability, this slide shows cash flows, starting with opening balance of 15 million at the beginning of the year and closing now with almost 24 million cash accumulated in accounts of the group. This is very strong financial situation, taking into account uncertainty due to several factors in several markets. Also, debt service coverage ratio in half year of 2020 continued to improve and has reached 5.6, and the net debt to EBITDA ratio is negative, as at the end of reporting period the cash balance was exceeding net debt. Then regarding the outlook for 2020, as Olainfarm Group has reported before, expected forecasted sales for 2020 amounting to 135 million euros. We have now, due to the situation in the first half year, revised the forecast and have decreased two segment expected outcome. One is the decrease of sales of compression segment, and the other is decrease in medicine production. In total, we now say that forecast for annual sales is 126 million euro, or 7% down to initially published forecast. Net profit outlook for this year, we have also decreased by 2 million, which are coming due to currency exchange situation. What we have seen that also after the closing of half year 2020, the exchange rate has not been favorable for Olainfarm Group, so we expect total results of the group close at 11.2 million instead of initial forecast at 14 million. That's it from financial part, and let me give floor over to my colleague to explain the strategy of the group.
Thank you, Zane, for presenting the financial results of Olainfarm Group. I will continue with our 5-year strategy. I'm really happy to present you the 5-year strategy, but I promised in the previous Nasdaq conference already to you. The strategy is called within Olainfarm Forward. So when we talk about the 5-year strategy, we talk about our way forward. The executive summary is telling us that Olainfarm is strong in its vertical integration and in the controlling of the production cycle. So basically that is the strength of the company as it is, and that will also be our strength in the years to come to build on further. On top of that, I found it very important when we talk about a strategy or a transformation of a company that we put a new culture in place, that we put a culture in place that fosters a can-do mindset, that is empowering people, and that is making decisions very fast based on rapidly changing dynamics in the markets. When we look at our strategic measures for 2025, where we will be in 2025 is the following. We will increase shareholders' value with 5 points. So the return on equity will increase with 5 points. Our sales growth, we are aiming for double-digit growth year over year in the segments prescription products, OTC, so over-the-counter products, and on our API. When we look at the weight of our prescription products, OTC and API, the goal is to have in our sales performance 70% of prescription products, 20% OTC products, and 10% of sales revenue devoted to API. Improved profitability is why we stand for, and our aim is to land in 2025 with a net profit margin of at least 18%. We need to fuel our pipeline with new products. We are aiming for 3 to 6 new products in prescription before the year 2025 and another 2 to 4 OTC products also before 2025. And on top, we will produce year over year at least 1 new API product. Geographical diversification is extremely important, especially looking into the political instability and also exchange rate. So we intend to extend our activities towards more European countries, so not only the CEE region, but also beyond other countries in Europe and even outside Europe. Our overall investment in R&D in the coming years will increase even more than 15%, but overall, at the year 2025, 15% of our revenue is dedicated to R&D. When we talk about our mission, so where Olainfarm stands now, is the following. We improve customers' lives and create value to our organization by providing sustainable healthcare products and services, leveraging on our manufacturing and commercial expertise. That is the strength of Olainfarm. Our vision, where we want to be in 5 years from now, is the following. By the year 2025, we are in the top 10 CEE manufacturing companies, and CEE stands for Central Eastern Europe. Companies sustainably delivering healthcare products and services in specific therapeutic disease areas in our CIS countries, CEE and beyond. When we talk about the disease areas, we are referring to neurology, psychiatry, cardiology, urinary, allergy, and alimentary. We conducted, and that was earlier already mentioned, with an international company, a robust analysis of our company. And what you see on the right is the conclusion of this analysis. What we did, if you look at the graph, you will see on the x-axis Olainfarm Group strategic fit, and on the y-axis market attractiveness. Market attractiveness is defined in the following: in the market size, in the market growth for the coming 5 years with at least 6%, that there is a sizable untapped opportunity for growth, that there are not that many competitors, because we believe that we should aim for certain niche disease segments with a limited amount of competitors, on optimal pricing, and a net profit of at least 18%. When we look at strategic fit, it's defined in the following: that we are in the treatment standards, that there is regulatory proximity, that there is a strong Olein footprint already available, or we look for strategic cooperations, partnerships, that there is a group synergy for economics of scale. The outcome of this exercise was the following: that we have primary segments and secondary segments. When we look at the primary segments, we really talk about the prescription products, the OTC products, including our food supplement Silvanols, and our API products. Our core business activities of Olainfarm with legacy and competencies in product manufacturing. That there is a strong synergistic effect and operational model in different channels and customer characteristics. Firstly, what we have done over the last several months, that we were securing our strong position, and from the strong position that we are ready and preparing ourselves for expansion to Europe. And again, what I already mentioned, a net profit of at least 18%. When we talk about our secondary segments, we mainly talk about Latvia Apteeka, so our pharmacy segment, our retail segment, Tonusolast, our compression material segments, and our clinics. And here, because of the different customer characteristics, and also because it's mainly when we talk about Latvia Apteekers and our clinics focused on Latvia itself, we have tailored strategy to improve the customer commercial model, driving sales and profitability. What are our strategic imperatives? If you start on the left top, growing sustainable and profitable. The team is working hard to improve the operational efficiency in our core business products and core markets in this year and also next year, to start on building on top of that the growth platform for our new products to come. So basically we are introducing a new go-to-market model. We are maximizing value. Maximizing value by making the right capital allocation decisions across our business portfolio, enabling us to deliver improved shareholders value. Next to this, we introduced earlier this year a lean program. The lean program is basically looking into our processes, how we are currently running our business and how we can optimize it. So with this, we will improve our processes, but also will reduce cost. There's a strong focus on accelerating our business development. They have a clear task. The clear task is bringing new finished dose forms and also new APIs to the company. At least 3 prescription products, 3 to 6 prescription products before the year 2025, and at least 2 to 4 OTC products before the year 2025. All in the main disease areas already mentioned to you earlier: neurology, psychiatry, cardiology, elementary, allergy, urinary. But when we talk about OTC, we want to expand our footprint in the different categories: allergy, cough and cold, and immune system. Olainfarm is focusing on fueling its own pipeline for the future. And as we all know, this is not done in 1 year. So there's a strong focus in R&D to bring new finished dose forms and also new API forward. And I have a slide more talking to this. Manufacturing optimization and innovation. That's our 5th strategic imperative. We are modernizing our manufacturing process. We are increasing our capacity to meet the new demand forecast from batch to continuous production of our core brands. And with the extra capacity that we will have, we are also open for CMO contract manufacturing opportunities with other companies. And I can tell you, some of the companies are already reaching out to us with this request. And last but not least, we are aligning the organization, meeting our new strategy. And also for the aligning of this organization, we are building a new culture and we are bringing new competencies on board. So how does our business transformation look like to reach our growth ambition? We are acquiring new competencies. Especially we are acquiring new competencies in research and development and in business development. We are hiring new people already in R&D, and also we are in the process close to signing of a contract with an international research and development person. Also our business development department is also expanding to meet the new requirements. We have an empowered board. We are meeting regularly with our stakeholders and our council, but with the board we have clear goals and competencies to deliver the growth ambition. We bring in a culture of collaboration and new capabilities. So we're creating an environment for continuously learning, improvement and readiness for change. We embrace open dialogue, openness with our shareholders and other key stakeholders like agencies, ministries, etc. There's a clear assignment of tasks in the organization. People understand the objectives and the KPIs of meeting the goals. And people take the responsibility to deliver. We are embracing a positive culture. And we spend time to develop our people to meet the new skills. We are empowering local and international teams So they become entrepreneurial, think out of the box, think in an innovative way to meet the goals. And last but not least, any decision we make, any discussion we have is based on evidence supporting our strategic initiatives. I was already mentioning our research and development is accelerating very fast. This slide is showing the current product pipeline driving value. From the left to the right, what you see, our business potential, what you could also see as a kind of pre-evaluation. We are 14 products in cardiovascular, 14 in neurology, 2 in neurology, 13 in elementary, and 10 in others. In others, we can think about diabetes, for example. Some of these already moved to the next process, the feasibility process. 5 products in cardiovascular, 3 in neurology, 2 in neurology, 2 in elementary, and 6 in others are already in the feasibility stage. And there you can see, if we take, for example, cardiovascular, in 2023, we expect to commercialize 2 new APIs in cardiovascular, and in 2025, 3 new final dose forms in cardiovascular. Or as another example, when we look at urology, 2 products, 1 final dose form will be commercially available in 2024, and another one in 2025. All what I'm presenting is driving value of Olainfarm. When it's important to set a new strategy, it's also important to discuss with the team our new way of working. What is this? Because this is really important to stress. That everything that we are doing is customer focused. We understand the customer need, we understand the patient journey, and we make decisions with customer in mind. Scientific excellence. We are dedicated to the highest level of scientific excellence. Our research is guided by a commitment to preserving human health and the quality of life. We embrace innovation, and we continuously discuss with the team to innovate more and to innovate faster. Integrity is a critical element in the daily work we are doing for any pharmaceutical company, so also for Olainfarm. Integrity is the cornerstone of what makes us credible to everyone. So basically, the patients we serve, the doctors we talk to, or the distributors, wholesalers we are commercially active with. Transparency is that where we believe in, that we show openness in a transparent way, building trust, and to achieve through openness with shareholders and other key stakeholders, the dialogue ongoing. This is the latest developments. It's coming to the next steps, so I just finished the strategic part. On September 22, the shareholders meeting is scheduled at Olain. Today, we are reporting at the NASDAQ conference this first 6 months sales. We have had some changes in the management, especially referring to our compression material segment, toners and last. There we changed the management board, and we made changes in the management in our retail segment. I'm referring to Latvia Apteeka. And also we made a change in the management of Olainfarm Group. As you know, and you already met her via this WebEx, our new Group CFO, Zane Kotāne. Cash flow accumulation and future investments.
Maybe commenting on that is what we were showing today is a strong cash flow position, and it goes well together with our strategical investments in product pipeline, which we are expecting to start in the nearest future. So that's actually the key reason why we are accumulating cash and planning to invest mostly in new product development initiatives. And I will probably cover also the one which was still outstanding on this slide. This is on sales reporting in Nasdaq. As you know, Olainfarm Group before has been reporting monthly sales numbers, then it has been extended to quarter, and this time we have tried to implement all the sales reporting as a part of management report of quarterly financial statements. And that's the way how we would like to do it, and we would like to cover also sales as a separate step always in a webinar presentations. That gives us opportunity to comment more details on particular markets and particular achievements, having close interaction with investors and having a possibility to ask the questions. A bit additional comment on the shareholders meeting, which is expected on September 22, seeing that I have received already a question, is that Management Board has proposed dividend for 2019 amounting to 4.5 million euros or 0.32 euro per share, but it's decision of the shareholders meeting to approve such proposition. But that's at least how the currently management proposal stands. Thank you.
We're also receiving questions on the political situation in Belarus over the last several, I say 2 to 3 weeks, days. What I can tell you is for Olainfarm very important to keep focus and to be committed to bring our products to the patients and consumers in Belarus. Of course, we understand there is a political and economical turbulence in Belarus, but we are committed for our collaboration we already have for years, and also we hope to have in the coming years to remain strong in the market present towards the medical society and the healthcare providers. So all the patients they are treating have access to Olainfarm products. Of course, you know, when it comes to an unstable situation, this could affect the economics of Belarus, could affect the social and economic challenges, eventually leading to a GDP drop, rising unemployment and exchange rate volatility. Of course, this may impact our expectations in Belarus, but as of today, or from today, I can report you, especially in the first 6 months of this year, that the Belarus performance is very strong. And we are operating 5% above budget, and that is growth, and that we are growing in this country with our products as it is currently. And on a short notice, we have no signals that this will be differently.
Thank you, Zane. Thank you, Jeroen, for the interesting and detailed presentation. Now I will proceed with the questions. But before we start with the questions that were asked before the webinar, I would like to remind everybody that you have this great opportunity to ask questions to today's panelists. So please use the question box on the settings panel and type in your question. So let's start with the first question. Zane, Jeroen, could you please specify what has been Silvanol's revenues in 2020 year to date? Zane, please.
Yes, Silvanol is one of minor group companies included as business segment in other business segments. So you don't see separately the reports, the numbers in the reports. But I can report that Silvanol is also impacted by the COVID situation, as OTC medicine is one of being really dependent on purchasing power in markets. So the impact is less as for compression materials. In total, year-over-year sales for Silvanols in first quarter 2020 has decreased by 20% compared to prior period, which is a bit less than compression materials impact.
Thank you, Zane. Let's proceed with the next question. Is current situation in Belarus anyway disturbing your activities? Jeroen, you already covered this part, but maybe there's something that you would like to add or specify.
No, I believe it's important because also people from outside Latvia are listening in that we are committed to the medical society and the physicians in Belarus. And as you may all know, listening to this webinar, we also have a strong presence in Belarus, including a manufacturing place. So Olainfarm is there to be committed to the market and to our employees. And this is basically what I want to add to my previous answer.
Thank you. Now let's proceed with the questions received during the webinar. The first question here: why did you decide not to show and discuss quarterly profit and loss numbers separately in your report? Zane, you already touched on that question, so just to maybe once more make it clear to everybody why such a change was made.
Yes, thank you for the question. I love these technical questions and love people following what we are doing. I hope that people are also following that we have done not only that change, but many other changes in quarterly reporting. Besides the change already discussed, we have also extended reporting on EBITDA. So in management report, you can see in more details how EBITDA is calculated, as we have been receiving from investors questions of how to trace numbers from the report. Then we have also used more segment perspective instead of using legal entities. And also we have looked into face of balance sheet and face of profit and loss statement to make it more clear in the message what we want to deliver to investors. That's why we are considering to submit one number which is accumulated at this time, half a year sales numbers, half a year profit numbers. Any investor, of course, can calculate exactly quarter by quarter things, but in a way, big trends, big strategy, big movements is what matters. We are, to the event possible, showing also trailing 12 months impacts. All the businesses have seasonality, and that's what we are trying to show the numbers: clear communication, clear understanding, clear impacts, and clear understanding of how the financial numbers are putting up. So that has been intention, and I welcome any comments from investors on how do you find the new format and the new options.
Thank you, Zane. I hope investors will use this opportunity and will comment. So let's proceed with the next question. I believe, Zane, you also have it in front of you. So I will try to read all the numbers precisely. You expect to earn only 1.2 million euros of net profits during the second half of 2020. Where the sharp drop in the net margin mainly coming from?
Yeah, what we have seen that there are several factors which have been good for the first quarter, first half of year 2020, but will not be so good for the second half of the year. One thing is marketing expenses. They have not been done fully in first half of year 2020, but we will be covering up in the second half of the year, making sure that Olainfarm doesn't lose any market share in markets where we operate, especially in our core markets. As I was explaining already, Russia is up and running starting from August, so marketing activities and all the business promotion goes on in a great speed. The other factor, which is again this traceability or serialization. So what has been shifted in a first half year 2020, end of June, 8 million in sales was primary sales going in consumption in a third quarter of 2020, implying that we expect decrease in sales revenues for the third quarter 2020, which can be seen also on a slide on outlook for the 2020 operations. The third negative impact is foreign exchange losses, and I know that there is one more question in the question pack, which basically asks where do you see this financial loss coming in? And this is while the financial loss is coming in from sales in particular markets, it impacts the top line, the sales line, so it comes in the less amount than initially expected. Once it already stands in receivables, it goes through financial income and expenses on revaluations and recognition of financial items in things. So basically financial items or exchange rate fluctuations is the third factor impacting net profit and profitability expected in second half of the year 2020.
And just like a follow-up for the question we covered, so no major foreign exchange losses in the second half of 2020.
You see them actually in the first line. Because when you do sales in foreign currencies, it comes less in the first line. So you see it in Outlook where the sales have been declined compared to original forecast.
Thank you. Next question. Based on your current knowledge, do you expect the minimum participation to be met at the AGM of September 2020, considering Olainfarm voting rights?
I apologize. Can you repeat once more the question?
Of course. Based on your current knowledge, do you expect that the minimum participation quote or rate will be met during the annual general meeting of September 2020? As all of us know that articles of Olainfarm states a particular number of percentage of shareholders to be represented in order for the shareholders meeting to take place. And the listener is asking whether you have any knowledge regarding the participation considering Olainfarm voting rights.
Yeah, we would like to stress that Management Board of Olainfarm has called ordinary shareholders meeting on 22nd of September as required by law with agenda of approval of accounts and dividend payments. We will also act according to law to host the meeting. Whoever from the shareholders will come, we were accommodated as required by law, and we don't have any extra information as to participation prior to the actual shareholders meeting.
Thank you. Zane, you already mentioned, but I will still ask the question once more. What dividend will be proposed to the annual general meeting? Could you please repeat?
Yeah, I love repeating nice and large numbers. So this is the first time when Olainfarm proposes quite high dividend. Dividend is proposed at a level of 4.5 million euros or 0.32 euros per share. So that's what is the Management Board proposal, subject to approval of annual general meeting.
Thank you, Zane. Next question. Do you have a plan to sell any of the larger subsidiaries in the coming years? Jeroen, I believe questions.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Currently, we are conducting a financial validation of our daughter companies, and that's basically what we are doing. A plan, anything next, it's not for us, it's for the shareholders to decide.
Thank you. Next question. What is your dividend strategy? Do you have anything to add on that?
Yes, the dividend strategy is also year over year 20% dividend payout of net profit.
Thank you. Next question. Another Latvian pharma producer, Grindex, has shown the best turnover growing in their history in the first half of year 2020, only because of injection sales growth. Does Olainfarm has planned to expand production portfolio with injection medicine in the future?
That's a very interesting question. As we all know, that Olainfarm is big in tablets, in blisters, and in powders. We are looking indeed to expand our portfolio. Whether that will be done at Olainfarm or via contract manufacturing, that's still a decision to be made.
Thank you. Currently, all the questions are answered. Let's give some more minutes for the participants to ask any last questions. Meanwhile, I will remind everybody that recording of the webinar will be available in Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel, as well as in the company's announcement later today or tomorrow morning. So I, at the moment, don't see any other question. So I believe that all of those are answered. So thank you, participants. Thank you, Jeroen. Thank you, Zane. for answering to questions and giving such a detailed presentation. Thank you, and talk to you already in the next webinar.